Hi. So, if you are not able to get out and about this week or next week to do some outdoor carol singing, socially spaced, of course, in groups of no more than 6, but you can access the internet, perhaps you'd like to take part in a little bit of online singing. So, I picked a few carols, some of which you probably know, and some maybe that you don't, but they all come from Carols for Choirs 1. So, dig out that copy. First off, let's do something that probably everybody knows. So all I'm going to really do is give you notes. How about singing through Away in a Manger? Bass, tenor, alto and soprano. I'll give you 2 bars. 1, 2, 3. And you'll have to forgive the wrong notes that I may play in the piano from time to time. That was on page 2 of the book. Perhaps now, if we turn to page 52, that's page 52, you will find Infant Holy, Infant Lowly. So, I'm going to play the tune, the alto part, the tenor part, and the bass part, and then play it all through. So you can sing through your part as it comes. So sopranos, this is yours, and it's about the same speed. 1, 2, 3. And then it's the same. On the beat. A rising pattern. Change direction. And be careful of the jump. So, altos, your part starts down here. 1, 2, 3. And now tenors, we start down here. 1, 2, 3. start first. Rest. And finally basses, a nice couple of easy bars for you. Here's your note. 1, 2, 3. And rest. Rest. So just watch out basses when you come onto the right hand page, the top line at the end, where it goes a bit quicker to where you want to be. Okay, and now putting that all together, that's tenor and bass, alto and soprano. 1, 2, 3. Tenor. Let's take verse and. Okay, so now perhaps we ought to go to something a bit faster. Page 101, 101, and we come to past 3 o'clock. That probably many of you will know, but I'll go through the parts and then at the end we'll just do 2 verses of this. So this is in a new key, this is in G major, and there's the first soprano, and this is quick. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. And slow up, and then back to the beginning. And then, of course, you go on to do the second verse and then go back to do past 3 o'clock at the end. Altos, we start there. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. And tenors, that's your first note. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. basses, lots of jumps for you. Right down there. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. And you'll notice that your past 3 o'clock at the end of the written music just starts with one different note, starts with a B, not with a G, unlike the beginning. Okay, so let's put that all together and do 2 times round for verses 1 and 2 with the refrain at the end. Bass, tenor, alto, soprano. 1, 2, 3, 2. Verse 2. And I hope you did better than I did. Okay, now let's go back to page 72 for a longer piece, one which I think doesn't get done, and it's a real great shame. It's by Phyllis Tate. It's Carol with Lullaby. So this is obviously an accompanied piece. So I'm going to go through some of the parts because there's a certain amount of repetition. So at the beginning, we're in C major and we have this rocking rhythm. And the alto and soprano start there. So we'll go with the soprano part first, and I'll put the bass in underneath it. Big jump. Then it changes. Just up to there. You'll see there's a rather strange bar. Wretches have their will at the top of page 75 where it goes into 8-8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's a bit of a surprise moment. Okay, so let's go back, and to the altos, you start there. And it's lullaby. Don't do any lula. It seems a bit strange, yeah? Lullaby. 1, 2. Back now for the tenors and the basses. Now, basses have 2 pages of nothing. Tenors come in on page 73. That's the second page. And if you follow what happens with the sopranos at the top of page 73 from My Sweet Little Baby, they arrive on a C, your C, and then it looks like you almost repeat them. So if you listen for what meanest thou, that's how you get to your note. So this is the top of 73, the last bar of the sopranos, and then you're going to come in at what meanest thou to cry. 1, 2. 2, 1, 2, down a note. 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1. Okay. And watch out, everybody, because sometimes there are notes that appear to be tied, but they're actually just slurs. Now, basses, you come in on page 74. So if you follow the alto line, a king is born on the bottom line of 73, they come down to an E. Okay, so I'm going to take that as the join. A king is born. Last two bars of 73, the alto line. A king would kill. Slowing up, will. Okay. Now, the next section, basses, we're going to start with you because it's a really easy line for you. You have to just remember not to fall asleep because you've got to go la, 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 la. But when you get from the top of page 76 to the bottom, suddenly it changes to octaves. La, 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 la. And don't push the top too hard, just float it because it's really all about the bottom, no, not the bottom, the top one. And then when you go over the page, these are all traps, they're all places just when you're not expecting them. So going from the bottom of 76 to the top of 76, it changes. This king, and then an octave, and then a king, and then you're back to the oh woes. So basses, bottom of 75, last bar. 1, 2. La 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 la. Changes. La 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 la. Getting louder. La 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 la. Then a change. This king. This king. That's wrong. It goes like this. Oh, heavy day when wretches have their will. Sorry about that, it's a page turn. So, relatively straightforward. Now, tenors. You're going to pick up your G from the accompaniment on page 75, bottom line, last two bars, because it ends on a G in the top part. There's the note, and you're going to sing a line that actually is very much like what the altos did to begin with. So, and shepherds, 1 and 2. Shepherds heard the song which angels bright did sing, and giving octave. Over the page. When wretches have their will to have their will. Now then, back to page 75 for the altos. Once we've got, you're on the keynote. And actually, we could do the altos and the sopranos together here, I think, because there's very similar part writing. So let's have the sopranos now together. And nice thirds there. 1 and 2. Okay, so just turning over the page from 77 to 78, just watch out that you have that clash day, and then for alto, so altos you've got to do the 7th, where sopranos, okay. And I'm afraid altos, I played a wrong note at the top of page 77, but you probably noticed which must be made. There's 2 notes of the same must be. Okay, so that's that section. Now, the next section, the final section, and this is where it says a tempo ma più marcato. So in the same speed, but a bit more marked. Now, a bit more colourful lines here. We're going to start with sopranos. That nice rising jump. Here we go. 1 and 2. Octave. Up to the keynote. Whom tyrants none can kill. Oh joy, oh joy, oh joyful happy day. Oh happy day, when wretches want their will to one. When wretches want their will, and then you've got to sit there for a very long time on will. Where? Just open the mouth. Well, leave the I sound to everybody else. Okay, altos, your turn. So we're in this nice clear C major. You're there. So this is page 78, bottom line, 3rd bar, 1 and 2. Octave. Similarly, you've got a long time on that note. Okay, now Tenors, octave jumps for you. Page 78, bottom line, third bar. 1 and 2. Careful of that ending there. There's a very awkward little moment on the top of page 79. If you just look at that last bar and a note, as all the prophets prophesy. And everybody sibyls, please. Sibyls as in Basil and Sybil Faulty. So, bottom of 78, third bar, basses and thou. 1 and 2. Bottom line, semitone, and a small step, and then listen to the piano to be in tune. Okay, so everybody, when we reach the 8/8 bars, be careful, because there is a little bit of a holding up on the last two quavers of the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just have to place those moments. So I'm going to play through it all and try and turn the pages. So you can sing along. Just be aware that sometimes the piano part does not help you. So good luck. I'll try and help you where I can. Ready? Sopranos and altos. 1, 2. or something like that. Okay, I think probably it's time for something fast. Page 157, 157, ding, dong, ding. So we're in C major still. Many people will know this. There's a repeat, up good Kristen, not Christian, Kristen folk, and then it goes back after newborn king to tell the story, and then straight on, and that's it. So if you don't know it, this is the soprano part, and it's a very fast 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Back. On, born of mother. And sometimes people go back and do the refrain at the beginning, which feels like it ought to happen. So maybe we'll do that. Alto part. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. And back. 3, 4, 1. On. Very Bachian ending. Tenors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Back. And on. So watch out tenors after the repeat. Suddenly you're down there, and then an octave leap, and then it goes like the clappers, and then at the end of the line, and then back down to there. Typically at the end of a line that you have to change pitch. Bass is last. Lots of jumping. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. And back. And on. Very awkward last line there. Every chance of falling off, I think. So, including me, I suspect. So have a go at putting this all together, and we'll probably put the ding dong ding refrain at the end as well. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. not sure I won there, but never mind. Okay, so now something slow again. Perhaps we will go to the Shepherd's Farewell, page 142. This is Hector Berlioz. And it's 3 verses where the music is all the same. This is your introduction. And there's the first note for the sopranos. So I'm going to play the bass of the piano and the soprano part. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Then we have a pause. So there's a little rich towards the end there. So altos, you're there. 1, 2, 3. Rest. Rest. Pause. Down. Wait. And tenors, the keynote now with the bass. And we'll have tenor and bass together here, I think. Bass is down there. 1, 2, 3. Got alternative higher note spaces if you don't find them. Top of 1, 4, 3, actually I played a mistake. The bass is Father, Loving Mother. Goes down on Mother. Mother shelter. And then tenors we split, Shelter Thee with Tender Care. To arrive there. Also watch out anything that's going in semitones, like Loving Father at top of 1, 4, 3 tenors. Very tiny steps. And all these little X's in front of notes are double sharps. And it usually just means actually you're going up one semitone from the last note. So for example, sopranos, first page, bottom line, first bar, humble crib is just going up in semitones. And the same for tenors on the next page, content our earth. Altos, watch out for all your little ties, 142 to 143. Content our earthly lords to share. Okay, so all three verses are exactly the same, so we'll just go through them all. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Verse 2. Da-dee-da. Pause. Last verse. Right here. And hold. Off. And perhaps lastly, just over the page, how about some torches? Now, I'm sure most people know this. Which is the basic tune. So watch out with the length of the dotted quavers so they don't become triplets. And then when they're not. So that's what happens. And when we get to page 152, it looks like you're going to do a canon, but actually altos and basses. You don't really get more than just 4 notes. Sing My Friends does this. As though the record's stuck. And then of course we join in with the tune at the end. So the only section that really causes any difficulty perhaps is the ro. So let's just have a look at the alto, tenor and bass on that page, because that's really all it is. Bass, tenor, alto, 1, 2, 3, 4. So once you're in the right place, as long as you go in the right direction, it should look after itself. Just be careful of the last ro, sing, ro, the last 2 bars. Altos, your repeated note. Tenors, you don't do exactly the same. But you do carry out the scale, so in a way that's easier. And basses, you do something slightly different to make a cadence. So that last 2 bars does that and would be unaccompanied, but we're not going to do it unaccompanied. And it's all voices at the beginning. So, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Torches, torches, run with torches all the way to Bethlehem. Christ is born and now lies sleeping. Come and sing your song to him. Torches, torches, run, torches all the way to Bethlehem. Christ is born and now lies sleeping. Come and sing your song to him. My friends and sing, my friends and So all you have to remember is that sopranos, you've got to do something extra at the end. Lo, he lives, the King of heaven, now and ever, evermore. Amen. So that last page, lo, he lives, well, we've all got the tune. Lo, he lives, the King of heaven, now and ever, evermore. Amen. So there we go. I think that'll do. Hope you had a good sing.